think there's an important distinction between learning about science and actually doing science. Most of us associate learning about science as learning a lot of facts and trying to remember them, put them together. But doing science is actually the process of discovery. The world is a puzzle, and you're trying to solve that puzzle. And when you get it right, it's exhilarating. I have to say that in 40 years of doing this, go to work in the morning, it's pretty darn exciting. There's new questions to ask, and there's new things to discover.
I'm doing a southern blot analysis.
I think I came away from Holy Cross with a basic commitment to help others in need, and my particular professional approach to that was be a physician and psychiatrist. So after I graduated from Holy Cross, I went to Johns Hopkins Medical School, trained with a Nobel laureate in brain research, completed my residency in psychiatry, became the director of the Division of Child Psychiatry, and then was recruited to become the chairman of psychiatry at Harvard, which I did for 10 years. And now I'm back in my laboratory out at McLean Hospital in Belmont, Massachusetts, with much more time to enjoy my wife and my science. You know, life is too short to ask silly questions. You want to ask important questions. And for me, research has been trying to make some big bets, trying to figure out how the world was really designed, how the creator designed the brain. Each day you go to the lab. In the long run, these little baby steps you take in carrying out these experiments are going to paint a picture to help us understand what goes wrong in the brain with a disorder like schizophrenia. And in as much as we can tease away to get to the fundamental problem of the disorder, we ultimately will be able to come up with much more effective treatments than we have right now. And you know, that's what really drives me. Over the years, we've made advances in Alzheimer's disease, Huntington's disease, schizophrenia, in terms of disentangling the basic biologic processes that contribute to the causes of these disorders. This is the escalating strategy. Okay. So we're down like 90%, and then and there's wild type.
Back up to within 5%.
Wow. Hopefully it will work. Could change people's lives. I edit the Archives of General Psychiatry. It's considered the most influential journal in the field of psychiatry and psychiatric research. I got a really pretty interesting paper that just came in. I like to select papers that I think are going to have the greatest impact on policy and how we provide care to individuals with psychiatric disorders. I published my first scientific paper in 1969 when I was a medical student. And over the last 40-some years, I've published over 600 scientific papers and 12 books. The papers that I've published have been cited over 45,000 times, and I think what I'm particularly proud of is that 100 of these papers have been cited over 100 times, which points to a significant scientific impact. Personally, one of the most distressing aspects of American medicine is how much the mentally ill are shortchanged. But I can show you in the brain with brain imaging, and I can show you in the genes with genetic studies that these illnesses are just as real as Parkinson's disease, as diabetes, as heart disease, and I think they should be treated in the same manner.
So these are some interneurons in here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would presume you're going to see the same reduction in dendritic complexity. It's all driven by the glutamatergic neurons. My life is pretty much consumed by science and medicine, but my experience at Holy Cross provides me with a much broader array of interests. I think that it's allowed me and my wife to live a more interesting and perhaps more committed life. And we're still growing. You know, I've just learned an enormous amount from Genevieve about things that I never thought about, you know, like cooking. I still have 2 more to do.
Oh, I thought you were done.
Lemons ought to give it a little piquant flavor. She's great at sauces. She can whip sauces up like with no effort that are great. When you look at life, I think there's two aspects that one has to grapple with. One is change, professional advancement, children growing up. And another is sort of a constant. And I think that's part of shared values, that those should be enduring. One has to really work to deal with the changes in order to protect the permanency. My wife Genevieve and I, we've had the enduring value of caring for others, caring for each other.